Hi everyone, this is Deb Tim, a Canadian girl, and this is a new series that I am going to be doing. I've always done a profile of each fish that I have in my collection or that I've had in the past. So this is similar. I'm going to do this series on the plants that I keep in my aquariums and my pond. So today, for the first edition, we are going to look at parrot feathers. So please stay tuned. I am beginning a new profile series. I have always done a species profile on the fish I keep or have kept. I enjoy doing the research for each species and then sharing what I've learned. It's also a wonderful record for my journal as a fish keeper. This series I am doing is very similar, but it will focus on the plants that I have in my tanks and my pond. Now today this will include an update on my 10-gallon planted guppy aquarium. Parrot feather is a plant very new to me. I just purchased a few bunches for my guppy tank, and I did plan on adding some more to my pond as well. I absolutely love the look of its pretty sprouts of feathery leaves that sit above the water, and then the awesome red root system below the surface. I thought this would be a great plant for my goldfish to spawn in. Coming home from the garden center with this very cool new-to-me plant, I did some research, and this is what I found. Parrot feather is indigenous to the Amazon basin in South America, being an aquatic perennial. However, it is now considered an invasive species to Canada and many other areas around the world. In fact, this plant can be found everywhere on Earth except Antarctica. It first was found in North America in the late 1800s. Parrot feather has pretty delicate feathery leaves on stems that grow reaching as high as 12 inches above the surface of the water. They resemble small fir trees. Now, parrot feather is found in most freshwater springs, streams, ponds, lakes, rivers, and even canals. Preferring high nutrient content, these water sources are ideal for this hardy plant. It favors warmer climates as the southern United States, but inhabit 26 states at present. In Canada, parrot feather primarily survives in Fraser Valley, BC. It had been found in Midhurst area of Ontario, but has been successfully eradicated as of 2006. There are regulations in place prohibiting this species from coming into Ontario under the Invasive Species Act. A little confusing, being illegal to buy, sell, grow, transport, release, or trade this invasive plant that I just purchased. This aquatic plant is now often considered a weed, and serious steps are being taken to keep it under control. It can travel by fragments, as all parrot feather plants we see are female. The male plants are only found in the Amazon basin region. Plants found in other areas are all asexual, reproducing vegetatively, meaning new plants develop from the parent plant, not from seeds. In some areas, parrot feather is still sold here for aquarium use or pre-formed pond use, as it is considered unlikely to spread being used in these ways, although if it is not disposed of properly, it can spread easily. Parrot feather is responsible for displacing indigenous aquatic plants and vegetation. it takes over, crowding them out, growing so thick that it blocks out the sun to the point of our native vegetation dying off. It also has an impact on swimming areas, boating and fishing, causing restricted water flow, which in turn becomes stagnant pools ideal for mosquitoes to inhabit and breed. Growing in thick patches, it will shade out naturally occurring species, killing them off. The organisms that feed off of these plants will subsequently die as a result. Parrot feather also clogs irrigation ducts and canals as well. There are only 2 successful ways of eradicating this weed: using pesticides, which is not the best choice, as it will only kill the portions of the plant above water, and also could endanger our natural vegetation and inhabitants of the regions. The other option is rotovation, which is underwater rototilling. This has proven to be successful. Cutting and chopping the species is only going to cause it to spread, as it only needs tiny bits to regrow. So I suppose with all this unfavorable information, I should dispose of this plant and not purchase any more. For reporting the illegal importing and distribution of this aquatic plant, there are 3 lines set up: a tip line, an invasive species hotline, and Crime Stoppers. You can see how my 10-gallon guppy aquarium has changed. I moved it into my little fish room as it wasn't doing very well in the living room. For some reason, most of the plants have died off. The guppy grass just disintegrated, and the Java moss just never grew, so I removed it. I did a mini rescape, but I will be doing more in the next week or so. I don't believe this aquarium has enough soil for planted plants, so I will be adding more. As for the guppies and neons, they seem to be doing just fine. I have a few females that will be having babies in the next couple of weeks. For that reason, I will be leaving the parrot feather in this aquarium, at least for now. I also removed the fake plants from my betta tanks and gave them each some parrot feather. Of course, I did all this before I did my research. Now, I'm not going to be calling the hotline to report this invasive species. Instead, I plan on going back to this garden center over the weekend coming, and I am going to share the information that I've found. I'm very curious to see what they have to say. Before I had a chance to post this video, I made a second trip to the garden center where I purchased the parrot feather. I spend Thursdays with Mom, taking her out where she likes to go, usually shopping or browsing, just to get Mom out of the house. Well, after bringing Mom home, she was tired, so I left her to rest and was going to head home. Instead, I decided I would make the trip out to the garden center to get more information on this parrot feather dilemma. The owner of the garden center was wonderful, answering all my questions and putting my mind at ease. Apparently, there are 2 distinct species of parrot feather. The one I researched for this video is the invasive variety, which is an aquatic perennial, and there is oodles of information about this one. The parrot feather I purchased is an annual and dies once the season comes to an end. The safe parrot feather is called tropical, meaning it cannot survive the cold and needs to be replaced annually. I did ask if I can bring it in the house from my pond and keep it over the winter, but the owner said it rarely survives as it needs tropical weather, more sun than it would ever get here during the winter. The only difference in these two species are the growth. The invasive variety will grow up to 12 inches above the water surface, where the annual variety will only reach 4 inches above the water level. Now this does make sense, as the perennial has a longer growing season. I have not been able to find any more information as to the differences other than this. I found this experience very interesting, and I'm very happy and relieved to know I'm not breaking any laws in keeping the parrot feather I have. In fact, I did get another couple bunches, as I really do like how it looks. So until next time, this is Deb Tim signing out. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this series. I hope you're having an excellent week. I wish you a wonderful Friday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.